Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I am Chad of The Wheel Life, and we are going to be doing more work on the 1995 Toyota Hiace. I at one point did a alternator swap on this, and everything seemed fine for the first couple of days, but I have noticed that on cold starts it will squeak. So something I'm going to be doing is tightening up the alternator belts as well as AC compressor belt just a little bit, slightly. We're gonna go from there. So let's go ahead and get the seat out. And first things first, I did disconnect the negative battery terminal and tucked it back there just so the door lights and stuff aren't on while I have all the doors open. Probably not super necessary, but I figured might as well, and that way I don't have to worry about a dead battery. All right, now we gotta peel this carpet back, which is as easy as unbuttoning a few things, making sure this Velcro doesn't hang up in places. And just kind of push it back out of the way here. And then all this carpet just lies forward. All right, carpet's all removed. And now we are going to pull this retaining clip, hold this cable in place as the parking brake is engaged with some pliers or channel locks or whatever you can get a good grip on this cable with, and then release the parking brake, and then you should be able to pull the cable out of the parking brake itself without removing the parking brake from the plate. So we're going to just remove this cable and then unbolt the plate itself, and then we should be able to feed the cable through, undo that grommet, push it through the hole. So, and then of course you want to be removing little electrical connections like this as you go along, so you can remove things without wires getting caught up. So you have one for the seat belt of the driver's side seat, and then here's another one for the parking brake system as well. And now I should be able to remove this cable. This parking brake is bolted in underneath this plate, so you'll have to remove those two bolts, which I will get to. All right, so change of plan. I am actually going to unbolt this plate. I removed the cable and the retaining clip from the parking brake, but in order to gain better access to these 12mm bolts underneath this plate, I'm going to remove the plate first so I can lift the plate and get better access to the backs of those bolts, because currently where it's at, it's very tight and you don't really have a whole lot of room to get a socket in there, and you do need a little extra force to get those loosened. So unbolt this plate, and then I'll get a socket wrench or a breaker bar in here to remove these 12mm bolts underneath this panel. Let's go. And one hiding back here. All right, I just pushed the grommet through the hole, unbolted the plate like I said first, then I got the two 12mm bolts out of the bottom. Now I should be able to just lift this away and feed the cable through. And there we have the plate out. And the two 12mm bolts are bolted to this parking brake cable underneath that access panel. So I'll go ahead and just set that off to the side for now. There's the alternator that I replaced last time. If I didn't mention it before, I wanted to give a shout out to Hiace Southeast. They provided that alternator. Well, I had to pay for the alternator, but that's who the alternator's from, as well as some other odds and ends that I've been replacing on this van. So big shout out to Hiace Southeast. Appreciate the assistance. So I did tighten up the AC belt. After feeling these alternator belts, they are a bit potentially on the loose side, but I think they're okay. I think I can get away with just tightening up this AC compressor belt. As you can see, I actually, last time I marked, as well as on the nut for the pulley, I just counted how many revolutions I was doing on the nut itself. And I just did about 4 more revolutions to tighten it up. So it's feeling pretty good. If it does end up squeaking still, I can always adjust it pretty easily just by lifting up the passenger side and not having to remove this access panel. So that's the downside, is I don't actually know if I need to adjust these alternator belts, which was the whole reason for removing this access panel. I think those are fine. I don't want to go too tight with any of these belts, because then if you over tighten, you're gonna have to replace these things quite a bit, and I don't want to do that. So let me figure out if I'm going to tighten up the alternator belts or if I'm just going to do the AC belt, and I'll get back with you. I don't know what to do with my hands ever.